Hi, this is Pat Smithing back again, and I am here with Belinda Beckford. And Belinda, welcome.
Thank you.
And can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your current role?
Okay, I am from North Carolina. I moved to Florida in 2004. I used to work in technology when I lived in North Carolina. When I moved to Florida, they were not so big in technology, so I decided to fall back on my undergraduate degree and teach. So I taught at Rickards Middle School for 15 years, and I started teaching robotics and coding in my last 5 years of being at Rickards, and then I moved to the district. So now I support teachers in the classroom with robotics and coding, AI, esports, drones.
Wow, wow. And at what level? The
I'm
elementary or
at middle
middle
and
and high
at
school?
elementary, middle, and high school.
Wow. So
Yes,
you are very much what follow on what Kelly is doing, and you
yes, that
work
is
in the
correct.
same department?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So
hmm
tell me a little bit, why do you think it's important to teach robotics in the classroom?
So it is very important to have the students learn about computational thinking skills, engineering design process, and learning the ability that they can do something with their hands as well as with their minds and put it into a tool that they can use for the future, like robotics or drones or anything in that realm.
Right.
So once they receive those skills, they can go anywhere.
Yes, right. So how can a teacher integrate robotics into the classroom?
So I was teaching physical education
Wow.
and health. So, because of my master's degree, my principal came to me and was like, I think you can teach robotics.
Okay.
So, I started doing robotics, but also at the same time, I was teaching computer science. And so, in order for me to get robotics into my classroom, I incorporated both so that students can get a feeling of what coding is like and what building is like, and then that match with their mindset. And for any other subject area like language arts, reading, they can do the same because with robotics, you can use it for math, you can use it for language arts, you can tell stories with a robot. Now AI is in the picture, so all that falls into one umbrella.
Right,
hmm
right. So what is the Broward County School District doing to train teachers to use robots in the classroom?
So we hold trainings every summer for any teacher that is interested, no matter what subject area. If you're interested in robotics, I will teach you the course. It's like a 4-day course that we offer. And they learn from the building process all the way to programming and running the robot in a competition or just running it as a curriculum in the classroom. We do have grants. We started off with a grant from Bex Robotics that was offering a robot to each Title I school that was interested. The grant ran out about a couple of years ago, but we still receive a grant from the state that we can offer the training for teachers. I hope we can do that going forward. We've also trained some JROTC teachers for high school that were interested because they no longer can do marksmanship. So they have gotten to robotics and drones and
Interesting.
in esports.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Um, so what does a teacher need to do to obtain robots for their classroom?
So, like I said, we have grants, and we try to, if they don't have the funds, we try to help out with the grant to purchase a robot for a school to get started, and then hopefully we help them try to fundraise, teach them how to fundraise to gain more robots for their
And do you
classrooms.
lend out materials?
We do lend out materials if we have those materials on hand. We lend out materials. Right now, we don't have a lot to lend, but we're trying to build that back up.
Right. And so several high schools participate in robotic competitions. Can you tell us about those?
So we just had Kelly just had a competition last night, as a matter of fact, with elementary schools, and I helped out with a high school competition this past Saturday at Dillard High School. So schools from around the state came. It was about 16 middle and high schools. They compete together. That competition, the game is called High Stakes. Each team robot may be built differently, but they have a task to do in that game. So they build an alliance with a team, and that team competes against the other alliance to gain as many points as possible in this high stakes game. And then there's a winner at the end from like first, second, third, and then there's different places you can receive like a judge's award, an excellence award, a team award, and some other awards that they can receive in this competition.
So it really teaches teamwork skills
Yes.
in not only just the robotics,
Right.
but also the skills of working on a team
Yes.
and building something together, which of course is the way most industry works.
Correct, correct. So yeah, they
What a
have
real
to work.
job.
They have to work on a team and learn how to communicate with each other. They learn how to facilitate their own programs, facilitate their own competition. They are the leaders in this, not the teacher.
Which is great.
Yes.
So I would imagine it's a little bit more intimidating as a teacher at the high school level to teach robotics than at the elementary school level.
Actually, no, because in my training, I tell the teachers that they are just the facilitator.
Right.
They're going to learn from their students more so than
Right.
anything else because the students are going to be the expert. They're just there to lead and guide. So if there's a question that the teacher cannot answer, most times the students already have the answer.
Oh, is that
That is so. Even
That's
with
great.
with the coding, my students, I was up for hours with my students trying to figure out a code. The students figure out the code. They show me what they did, and I was like, "Thank you,"
Thank you.
because I
Good
couldn't
job,
figure it out. Yeah, they're very smart kids.
Yes,
This
right.
is their thing.
Particularly when you talk about these students who now they're incorporating robots in elementary school.
That's correct.
Right.
So they're learning from baby all the way up. So they know more than the teacher, and the teacher should not feel like, oh, intimidated by that. They just should be able to say, okay, thank you. I'm glad you showed me that. Now I've learned something new.
Right, right,
Mhm.
exactly.
Mhm.
Right. And really you're right. You can learn from your students.
Yes.
You can learn so much from your students.
Mhm.
And I think one of the things I've noticed about the programs that are available here today is how basic they are in
Yes.
terms of not requiring coding at the very
Well,
beginning.
Yeah. So they start with block coding,
Right.
and block coding turns into Python, JavaScript. So it
Right.
depends on which one you're using. So the students do like moving over to Python, and they can go right back to block if they don't understand what the coding is.
Right, which
Yes.
is great.
Yes.
Which is great. They're great skills.
Mhm.
What does a younger student need to do to become a member of the robotic competition?
So if they're at a school and they don't have a coach, most students recruit a teacher and they present their case and be like, can you please coach us? And then that teacher can go to the administrator and say, hey, we want to start this club, or can we do this in the classroom? And most times they say yes.
Right, right,
So,
right.
I was
Well, and it's-
I was telling someone that happened at one of the schools. The teacher called me and was like, they want to start a club. And I said, well, go ahead and try to recruit some students. Ask, the administrator if it's okay. And she did that, and they have a club now.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Mhm.
And you're able to provide them with a lot of resources.
Yes.
The school board
Exactly.
is able to provide them with a lot of resources
Mhm.
that they need to be able to
Yes.
do these clubs.
That is
right?
correct.
So
Mhm.
so a lot of times it's coming from the students or even the parents, because I think
Right.
parents are more and
Yes.
more aware.
That is correct.
Yes, right, of what needs
So,
to be done.
Yeah. Parents are a big part of it. They also want this in their schools. So if they go to PTSA and talk to administration, we would like to have this at the school. So that is most times how it starts.
Right.
Teachers and parents.
Right, right, exactly. Well, it sounds good. How many, what percentage of like high school, middle schools and high schools in the county do you think has some kind of a robotics
I
program?
would say at least 90%.
That, which is great.
Yes.
That's amazing, really.
Yes. I say 90% of our schools have some type of robotics program.
And how about at the elementary school level?
More so at elementary.
Really?
Yes. We have
Wow.
more input at elementary. A lot of teachers leave, and we have to start all over with recruiting, but elementary has been the most participation.
Right. And it looks to me like what you see demonstrated here today is
Yes.
so much fun for the students.
It is. It is.
That
And-
engages them.
Yeah, and they carry it on from elementary, middle, all the way to high school.
Right,
Mhm.
right. So it sounds like you're doing a lot to support this whole
We
thing.
try.
Which is great, which is great.
Thank you.
Well, Do you have anything else you want to add about this?
Now, if you're interested in robotics, if you have questions, you can reach out to us. I am Belinda.Beckford at BrowardSchools.com, or you can go to BrowardSTEM at BrowardSchools.com.
Right. Well, thank you so
You're
much for being
welcome.
with us.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.